This morning I am joined by Salim Ali from Loyakk. You're on Block News. My name's Rebecca Hope. This is an episode of Meet the Makers. Salim, welcome today.
Thank you, Rebecca. Very nice to be talking to you.
It's great to have you here. We are talking about something revolutionary, truly revolutionary in data. Now, everybody's trying to take a piece of the data pie, but what you guys are doing is something very unique, which is sharing and tracking information or data in a secure way, a completely transparent way by using tokens and blockchain technology. Is that correct?
Very much so. You said it so well.
Oh, thank you. But you know, it really is important because the three areas of focus that you have are in data like digital assets, communication, and business contracts, all of which people are sending via email or through other means that are just not really secure and not transparent. You don't know what that person's done with that business contract or that very private information, and what you are trying to do is change that.
That's exactly right. We want to transform our business data that's worth millions of dollars is shared and tracked.
Because at the moment, what is the model?
So what happens today is fascinating. We're living in a world like it's 1990s. I have my corporate internet, you have your corporate internet, two different companies, fine. But if I send you any data by email, the moment it leaves my firewall, my company, I'm blind. My line of sight ends right there.
Yeah.
So you get my data, I have no clue what happens to that after that. And that just makes no sense in today's world.
No, it doesn't make sense because we should be able to track. And I really like this idea of what you've done with blockchain technology. Originally, you started with a different infrastructure, right? Could you walk us through the transformation from what you had to now moving to blockchain technology?
Yeah, so we had the vision that we want to do this, but we did not want to build the whole platform before we got validation from customers. So what we did is we built version 1 last year without blockchain on MySQL and said, hey, customer, would you be interested in this? They said, yeah, great. Will you be able to pay for it? They said, yeah. So we have 5 multi-billion-dollar customers paying us money to use version 1, and they are now working with us on the next iteration with blockchain being the underlying fabric.
Okay, so these are businesses, these are corporations that have implemented your technology in their systems.
Exactly right. And they're using it today to engage with their customers, with their partners, with their vendors.
Does the customer or partner have to also have this technology in order to use it?
Yes. Let's imagine this. Let's say you are in Infosys, as an example. It's a multi-million-dollar company. Infosys says, hey, Mr. Partner, 10 partners, here's I'm going to share data. You come in. They have to come in. There's no choice. Yeah. So Infosys drags the other 10 people into a platform, whether they like it or not, because that's how we're going to share data. And the hope is that one of those 10 partners say, hey, this is great. Why am I not doing it with my partner? And they propagate. So the network propagates. That's how the model is.
So at the moment, where you see yourself in the bigger scheme of things, you were saying to me that you have, you've got CRMs, you've got other kind of business management systems, but what you are establishing yourself as, and this has never been coined before this term, is an ERM. What exactly does that mean?
Yeah, so you have CRM, customer relationships, very focused on customer. You have ERP, focused on financials. You have SCM, focused on suppliers. But there are a bunch of parties who form under the broader framework of enterprise relationships, all kinds of relationships that are outside. So we are calling it ERM, Enterprise Relationship Management, helping you manage all relationships outside the company.
Okay, so that's interesting. This is a whole new category. And how have you seen it transform the companies, the multi-million-dollar companies or billion-dollar companies that you already have?
Yeah, it's fascinating. They came to the very specific needs. We weren't looking for a problem. They came to the problem they were trying to solve. And the concern is this data we're sending is worth millions and tens of millions worth of dollars. Is going to a partner A, and we have concerns that we don't know what's happening. There are security issues. There are compliance issues, there are GDPR issues. If I don't know where my data is, how can I be GDPR compliant?
Right.
So that's the need started, and we are now solving them with them. And it's, as in some of the names I mentioned, also work in some other really big companies as well, who I've not talked about for legal reasons, who are solving the problem of sharing data with the whole ecosystem of partners.
So let's talk about that. Recently, we've had a big issue with data. And so recently we've got the GDPR and a lot of regulation around how what rights the user has about their data. So historically, we have been sharing data and we don't know where it's been going. We don't know who's had access to it. And as you said, the design was a little bit different before, right? So would you like to explain to us how the design of data is now changing?
Yeah, what's happening is, let's say you're a big company and you buy stuff from me, right? As a small company, I have data about you as a company, right? All the stuff in my marketing tools, in my CRM, and a bunch of other tools. And I may work with a partner to do campaigns targeting you, which is also fine. I share data with the partner. The problem is, if a customer says, as per GDPR, I want to be forgotten, i.e. take my data out. If you don't know where data is, how can you take them out? You're not GDPR compliant. You can do whatever you want inside a company, you understand that. But you don't realize that this data has gone outside to partners.
Right.
And if you don't know that, you can't be compliant. So data, unless you know where it is, you can't act on it. So it's a huge legal issue, huge liability issue.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the token. So the token is basically used as a form of metadata to track where my data is being sent to, who's accessing it, so I can see if anybody else has accessed my data, right?
That's exactly right. So we have the notion of a data token. A token that does three things. It controls who can see, who can act on it. It controls what they can do with it. It has all the audit trails.
Okay.
So each interaction within a platform requires a token or a part thereof.
Yes.
So without a token, you can't use a platform.
That's fantastic. That's really changing things. And so at the moment, how does it work? If I'm a company, how do I get allocated tokens, and how does the system work?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So when a company says we want to use a platform for sharing data, they will buy an enterprise license for the platform. You license it in the normal software behavior. You license the platform. You pay us in tokens or however. Number two, they say we estimate to use 1 million interactions within the next 5 months or 6 months. So we license them 1 million tokens. They can buy it from us. They can buy it from our partner. They can buy it from any other channel, like an exchange. Doesn't matter. And as they keep consuming it, the system tracks it. And they use 1 million, 6 months, they're done, they buy more. And over time, we expect them to use more and more to really secure everything that goes outside the company.
Right. Okay, so it's pretty simple then for them to use. It's not a complex process. It's just they've got to get a buy-in, get a bunch of tokens, and start the transaction, start the exchange.
That's the secret. You cannot make it complex for the customer. Under the covers, there's a lot of complexity going on.
Yeah.
You have a platform, it tracks data, it uses token, but the customer doesn't care or know. It just does the billing all underneath the platform, and that's a secret. You can't make it too complex for the customer. The customer has to be simple. You pick up a phone call, you call, you don't know there's a whole stuff going under the covers. You don't care. I want to get my job done, that's what I'm going to do.
So you said you started with version 1, which was not using blockchain technology with your existing clients. Now you've shifted over to the blockchain technology. So is that in full swing? Are they using it? How's it functioning?
Yes, and now we are in the design and requirements phase. Our customers are working with us on their specific requirements. Hey, I want this done. I don't want that done. Very deep, very detailed discussions.
Yeah.
We filed a couple of patents around blockchain that lets us do secret and very cool things. We're working on that. And we're working with designers on a really amazing UI, user interface. As you said, it's very simple. And that is very important. It cannot be complex blockchain stuff. Customers won't understand it. Make it super simple that they can use and adopt it really fast.
But it's in full swing, right?
Oh, it's very much in full swing. There's no question. Our team is phenomenal. So that's the reason we are lucky there.
And what are you seeing when data is now being exchanged with tokens attached to it? What are you seeing?
So what we're seeing is fascinating. Companies are now realizing that as we work on requirement that, hey, listen, I have no clue where my data is going. I don't even think of who and what because the model is so old. I sent it to you, it's gone. That's all. You got it, that's all I know. So then you start thinking about the data life cycle. Who all should be seeing it? What can they do with it, right? So we're helping them think through the notion of data flow in a global decentralized world. And they are still understanding it. They're working with us, and we believe it will be a huge transformation if they get it right.
So the basic shift here is that historically we had a centralized model of one company or whoever you're sending your data through has your data, stores it, you have no idea what's happening with it, and then it gets sent to the recipients. Now what you have is more of a democratic system. Everybody's on the same playing field here, and data is being tracked, and you can see everything that's going on. There's no centralization here.
That's exactly right. Because if you share data with party B, it's okay. I've given you permission, but I need to know that. Mm-hmm. This is a fact of, let's get out of the old world of company boundaries and silos, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. Because we are truly good, global now. We're truly decentralized now to enable the business models to happen. So I can send data to a partner in China and be confident that my data is there. Mm-hmm. I can send it to a partner in Germany and be confident the data has gone to him and he's done something else with it.
Where do you store the data?
So we store three things, as I said, the metadata mm-hmm. about who, the permissioning aspect of it, the access part of it, which is what can be done with it, and thirdly, the metadata around what has been done with it.
And where's that stored?
So that's stored in a DL, a distributed ledger, which is off-chain so that the public chain is not overburdened with all the data. Mm-hmm. So it's a mix of public chain and permission networks behaving together.
Okay. So, and that's pretty much a secure system, scalable. It serves.
Yeah. So what we do is we have the notion of these permission zones within a public chain. So the permission chain is permission. So it's very much scalable. So the problem happens when you put a lot of data on the public chain, mm-hmm. because then every node has to replicate. That's hugely inefficient. Mm-hmm. If you create permission zone, only the zone has to replicate.
Right.
Right. So that's the power of the system. That's one of the patents we filed to work around those problems.
Wow, fantastic. And then let's talk about the ICO, why that is so important. So even though it looks like you are largely successful, you say you basically want to take over the world, right? If we can put in so many terms.
Yeah. So the thing is, the token sale has been done by our UK entity, United Kingdom Loyakk Limited partner. Mm-hmm. And it's very simple, right? This is a huge opportunity. This is not an opportunity that you're going to be playing in the millions of dollars. It's a much bigger market opportunity. Right. For that, we need to scale, build an enterprise-grade platform, put a sales and marketing team in place, and really go from 5 to 1,000 customers or 10,000 customers. Our vision is very grand. And we're not looking at the world as a small market. It's a huge, tremendous multi-billion-dollar market. So
and now is the time to jump on the boat because you're the only company in the world doing this, right?
See, that's an interesting part. Today, people who understand business applications don't understand blockchain that well, and vice versa. We happen to be in a very sweet spot bringing it together. Mm-hmm. I'm sure if we're successful, people will follow. We need to be clear about that. But right now, we are the fastest horse and with the best legs so far.
So invest, basically.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
That's the point. Okay, so we're talking about highly confidential information that is being sent via mainly in emails is what you're talking about here. 80 to 90% of the data you're talking about is shared in emails, and we need to change that, right?
See, I'll give you an example. If you're sending an email saying, "Hey, come meet me for dinner," or "Hey, let's meet up," that's fine. That can go on email. Email has a place in this world. No one changed. But if you're putting multi-million-dollar worth of data, guys, that's so 1990s. You don't even know what's happening. Let's fix that.
Yeah, let's fix that. Let's start tracking data and let's get our businesses intact. I love what you're doing, Salim. I think it's amazing. And you, at the moment, are based in Palo Alto, right?
I am based in Palo Alto. The ICO is being done by a London, UK-based company.
Okay. And you're from India. Why are you living in Palo Alto?
Actually, US is home. I came here to study undergrad computer science, master's computer science, business school degree. So this is where Silicon Valley is the only place where I've worked. The only place in my life. So I'm pretty much blue-blooded Silicon Valley DNA because that's the only life I know from a work perspective.
Mm-hmm. And if you see what's going on, how other companies in Silicon Valley are responding to this whole hype about data, how do you see yourself fitting in that?
Yeah, so we are getting a lot of attention now, by the way, as news is getting leaking about us, that this company, which is a very strong DNA of enterprise and blockchain, is doing something that's really, really cool. So we are talking to people across the spectrum, right, of people who handle data, people who store data, people who host data, right, and figuring out models to partner with them as well. So we talk to big name companies like Oracle as one end, Palo Alto Networks on the other end, Accenture, bunch of customers, partners we're working with, because they see what we're doing is truly being transformational.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. And I also heard about something about in Russia, there was a leak of the Google documents recently. So anybody could just access your Google documents, which is kind of scary.
The thing is, right, the moment we talk about file sharing, we're still stuck in a common shared folder. Let's look at it, right? It's so pathetic. It's really old. Mm-hmm. So all this model of email and file sharing has to be completely disrupted. And blockchain is a great tool to disrupt that.
Now, what about if I just have like a document, just a small document I want to share with somebody, for example, like Google Documents? Would I be able to do that as well through Loyakk?
Yeah, so over time, right now we're saying is your data has to be in our platform to be secure and tracked. That's number one. Over time, we will integrate to email, we'll integrate to other file sharing systems, right? Mm-hmm. But they are so behind. We don't want to be slowed down by them. So we are building the next generation, and they'll have to catch up. And when they do catch up, we will integrate with them as well.
Fantastic. Well, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure talking with you about how you are transforming data and how it's tracked and shared on the internet. This is something that we should be more conscious of. There's so much valuable information that's just being glibly just shared across the internet, which is not okay, and that needs to change. Loyakk is a solution. Would you like to give the website URL?
Yeah, so the website is Loyakk, Loyakk.io.
Thank you, Salim. It's really great to talk to you. My name is Rebecca Hope. I'm from Block News. This is an episode of Meet the Makers, and we've had the pleasure of talking with Salim. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. Very nice talking to you.